I was just reading soul replenishing prose after the day. I think it's necessary that we read soul replenishing prose. It can be paperbacks. Like I just read the first two of William or James Burke's Half of Paradise from 1960 or 50. I have to double check. But the first two lines of this, soul. And then I dipped in to replenish my soul, as I always do with my portable Kerouac. So let's spend a little time doing that, shall we? But let's not rush it. Let's take our time. Un moment, s'il vous plaît. I just need to light this. We'll read one, then the other. Because what's the rush, right? Life is for the living. Clink! So, the first is James Lee Burke, paperback, Half of Paradise. And it's from 1965. And he was the first one, the very first one to come up with doing the alcoholic detective. It's been done over and over and over and over, the dysfunctional detective, etc. But Lee Childs, who wrote Jack Reacher, I'm taking his writing class, and he was the one who pointed this out. And so I said, I might as well read that, because the original, you want to go to the original, right? That makes sense to me. Woo! But listen to this prose. This is just, they're long sentences, but this is just the first two lines of this book. I read this and said, I can't read this book right now. I haven't read the book still. I put it away because I'm finishing the Unsufferable Brothers Karamazov, which I hate more than any book I've ever read in my life. But that's for another time, because I still have less than 200 pages. Not that anybody except for me is counting. Let's go back to a peaceful place. Now we go to a holier place, in the words of the Book of the Law. After the spring rains, when the first hot days of summer begin, the inland waters of the Gulf of Mexico turn smoky green from the floating seaweed, fading to dark blue beyond the sandbars where the great white pelicans dive for fish. On an island off the Louisiana coast, there is an open-air pavilion among a group of cypress trees, and in those first wisteria-scented days of May, one can sit in a wicker chair, drinking chilled wine, and listen to the salt breeze rustling through the overhanging moss, or just sit and watch the whitecaps break against the beach and disappear in an iridescent spray of foam. I read those first two lines and said, nope, this is too good to read right now. Putting that away. Too good. The prose, beautiful. The writing, the imagery, it's too much. I can't have anything to do with it. It goes away, because I got to get through the Brothers Karamazov, and this is what I'm reading after I slog through the most hated book I've ever read in my life, the Brothers Karamazov. But then we replenish our souls Or we try to, right? Clink. What am I drinking? I'm drinking Dow's Fine Tawny Port. I've been drinking that for about a month and a half. It's doing the job quite well. The portable the portable cataract. Can you see my eyes? They need work. The portable Kerouac, which was edited by Ann Charters. What did I say? Oh, there's so much. When I did the reality television show, the Steve Harvey Show, and went on there, I thought it was a good opportunity. And I performed the Quiddlers Act on there, doing our Elvis act that we performed in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. I left that broken and dismayed at the insufferable reality television universe of mocking people's, like, live, it's reality television. I don't need to explain this. Anyways, and I immediately went back to my hotel room and read this book, To Replenish My Soul, with prose like, what was it? I don't know, I can just select a spot. I mean, you can just like, oh, so I was going through and I was like, Subterranean Teresa, Dharma Bums, Desolation Angels, Big Sur. I have the first edition over there. And then it goes into some of his poetry. I mean, I like it all, but what am I going to read now? I guess that's the thing. In any case, I mean, I could just randomly choose this. What? It's the bridge that counts. The coming into San Francisco on that Oakland Bay Bridge. The area that I grew up in. So it's like the Bay Area. Kerouac spent a lot of time in the Bay Area. Working on the trains. It's the bridge that counts. The coming into San Francisco on that Oakland Bay Bridge. Over waters which are faintly ruffled by ocean, going Orient ships and ferries over waters that are like taking you to some other shore. It had always been like that when I lived in Berkeley, after a night of drinking or two in the city. Bing, the old F train, take me barreling across the waters back to that other shore of peace and contentment. We'd, Irwin and I, discuss the void as we crossed. It's seeing the rooftops of Frisco that makes you excited and believe. The big downtown hulk of buildings, Standard Oil's Flying Red Horse, Montgomery Street high buildings, Hotel St. Francis, the Hills, Magic Telegraph with her quaint top, Magic Russian, Magic Knob, and Magic Mission, beyond with the cross of all sorrows I'd seen long ago, in a purple sunset with Cody on a little railroad bridge. San Francisco, North Beach, Chinatown, Market Street, the bars, the Bayum, the Bell Hotel, the wine, the alleys, the poor boys, 3rd Street, poets, painters, Buddhists, bums, junkies, girls, millionaires, MGs, the whole fabulous movie of San Francisco, seen from the bus or train on the bridge coming in. The tug at your heart like New York. I mean, that's where I grew up, going to Chinatown every weekend to see my grandmother. North Beach and City Lights bookstore, where Kerouac drank and hung out with Ferlinghetti and Allen Ginsberg. I grew up going to all these places. He said Coit Tower. But you hear the prose, and that's the main point. You hear the prose, and you go, It clicks along. It sounds good. Kerouac said that he wanted to be considered. Let me do him the respect of quoting him correctly, as in the beginning of his great work, Mexico City Blues, of which this is a first edition. I want to be considered a jazz poet blowing a long blues in an afternoon jam session on Sunday. I take 242 choruses, haiku style. My ideas vary and sometimes roll from chorus to chorus, or from halfway through a chorus to halfway into the next. This is a fantastic work too. If you like haikus, American haikus, Kerouac, the beats. This is the stuff that replenishes my soul. If I watch too many videos of people getting murdered on the streets and reality television and commercials, I come into this sanctuary and I open these books and I light candles and I disappear into a world that replenishes my soul so I may keep that holy light moving forward into the future. Oh dear. And with that, I bid you adieu. Bonne chance.